Welcome back to the Mash Paddle YouTube channel. Today we're going to be doing a tasting video of the sparkling ale that we made previously, and we're going to do a comparison to the beer that it's cloned off, which is a Cooper's Sparkling Ale. So let's give our Cooper's Sparkling Ale a bit of a taste test. So you would have seen the brew day video previously on the channel, and you can go back and have a look at that as well. So this is how it's turned out in the end. It's got a nice sort of an amber color running through it, or sort of a deep orange color that comes through there. It's got a nice big white head. For an extract beer, this one turned out a little bit better than I was hoping for or expecting, to be honest. Aroma wise, it does have a bit of a sweetness to this beer, which is probably what you expect from extract beers. I find using extract tins, you do get a more malty sweet beer come through. This one in the end finished up being 3.7%, so nowhere close to the sort of 5.6 that I think I was initially going for, but that's okay. Having a mid-strength in summer is actually probably a better thing than having a near 6% beer. Flavor wise, again, quite a little bit sweet and obviously more malt driven than hoppier pales and IPAs and things like that. The one thing that with this beer, obviously there was no additional hops were added. It was pretty much just malts and sugars, and just using whatever hops Cooper's put into their sparkling ale extract tins. So no, I think those tins, I think the IBU is around 25 or 32. I should have double checked before recording. But if you go through to the Mash Paddle Brewing Supplies website, through to the blog, there's a recipe there, and there's obviously a recipe on the brew day video. You can have a look there and see what that comes out at. But all as I said, I was kind of a little bit impressed with how that one turned out. Let's compare it to what the recipe is loosely based off, which is Cooper's own sparkling ale, or Cooper's Red. Now, just like when I did the Young Henry's comparison, first thing you notice is a big color difference. So this one is more of that straw to golden yellow color. Again, a nice good white head on it, so at least we've got that right. But yeah, definitely a big difference in color there from the extract kit being more amber to the real thing being obviously a lot more lighter and straw in color. Being a lighter color, it does actually have a bit of an impact on flavor. So it's not as malty or sweet. It's a little bit more bready, a little bit more sort of lighter, and any sort of hop aroma that is in there comes through a little bit, which I think it's noble hops that they do use in this beer. So I'm going to guess probably a SARS or maybe Pearl, something like that. So the first thing I'm noticing is this is a little drier than to the one that we made. So the sweetness is definitely not there. It's more dry, a little bit more crisp. Definitely a lot more carbonated too. So this one, is probably sort of the carbonation levels that you sort of come to expect with maybe a pale. but this one is a little bit more. So I'm guessing that could be something that just easily adjusted in terms of a touch more sugar, obviously, if you're bottling, or if you're a keg, maybe just ramping up the PSI just a touch more. It's funny, I'm not going to be sitting here and say that, you know, I prefer my beer over the commercial beer, as some homebrewers will tend to do, and that's fine. You've got to be proud of what you brew and what you make. But I must admit, I think I'm actually more happy with the fact that this has come out a little sweeter, and obviously at 3.7% compared to the 5.8% of the Cooper's Red. I think much more prefer this as a sessionable beer to have on a summer's day like we've got here today. This has its place by all means, and I know I've had a lot of times on drinking Cooper's Red. I remember going to gigs in Marrickville in my younger days at the Factory Theatre, and yeah, drinking a lot of Cooper's Red during those shows, that's fine, and that's a perfect setting. I feel for Cooper's. Cooper's Red. It's much more of a social sort of a drink. While this as a sitting around at home, you know, watching the cricket, or just sitting around in the backyard, a couple of these is going to go down well as well. So my two real takeaways between these beers is obviously the sweetness of the homebrew. And again, as I pointed out earlier, it comes back to being an extract kit, and extract kits I do find being a little bit sweeter because it's much more sugar, I suppose, is in those kits. Now you're taking your all grain mash and you're boiling it down to a syrup. So it is going to be obviously a lot more sweeter. But having said that, no, I do still quite like the crisp dryness of the Cooper Sparkling Ale that's in a can, or preferably a tall boy long neck. The other difference that I get from here as well is obviously the colour. So as I said, we've got, you know, a nice sort of straw to golden colour to a more of an amber, light amber colour with the homebrew version. But look, all in all, both pretty good beers in the end. As I said, I'm pretty happy with the way that the Sparkling Ale turned out, even though it didn't hit any of the numbers for whatever reason. I think a lot of that does come down that I didn't have as much dextrose and sugar and malts that I put in there as I thought I was going to have, but that's okay. As I said, it was a bit of a leftover and just a quick video to show you guys how to do a very simple Cooper's Sparkling Ale, or a simple sparkling ale. Thank you very much for watching today. If you like what you see, by all means go ahead and like and subscribe to the channel. Obviously we had to do brew day videos there, not only extracts for the beginners and the time conscious and maybe cost conscious, but also all grain stuff as well. And tasting videos. Whenever I brew beers, I'll try and do a tasting video just so you know exactly how it turned out. Thanks very much for watching, and we'll catch you again on the channel soon.